Hi, my name's Ethan Meece, and today I'm going to be taking you through my portfolio. I've got a lot of cool stuff on here that I'm excited to show off. I've got illustrations and animations. The animations are kind of the bread and butter, so I'm going to take you through the illustrations first. But before we do, I want to let you know I plan on showing 4 pieces from my illustrations page and 4 pieces from my animations page. And before we go through these, I want to bring up the Webster University's learning outcomes for animation students. So as we go through these, keep in mind, as a Webster University animation major, I am supposed to have been able to create animation with fundamental and technical proficiency, animation that expresses visual concepts artistically. I'm supposed to be able to integrate storytelling and performance, as well as synthesize theory and practice, creating animation from a global perspective. I believe I've accomplished all these goals, and I'll take you through them and show you how I've done that. So let's start off with my illustrations here. This is my illustrations page, and the first piece I want to call your attention to is up at the top. I've got a couple character designs. This particular character was designed for my character design class, and this is my original design, and we were told to design our character in an already existing art style. This is the Majora's Mask art style. If you don't know what that is, you're free to look that up. But it's very important to be able to mimic other art styles and match those art styles. So that's what this assignment taught me. That's what this assignment is on my portfolio for. I think it did a very good job matching this art style. And then a lot of these pieces were actually done for others as commissions. This piece here is a commission done for a couple friends of mine. They are starting up a band and they wanted a logo. They sent me inspiration images, font they wanted to use, concepts, and then I just whipped it up, brought it to life. I added some color to it. I experimented with shading and different brushes and textures, obviously line hatching here. And what I really learned through this, as well as all of my commissions, is I learned more about working with others, which is something that can be tough if you're new to it. It's very easy to let yourself, get a little off track, and you never end up getting a finished product if you're not, strict about how you do things, which is something that I learned to do better with that project. This is another commission. This was done earlier, so I was really, with this artist through every step of the way. This was for an album cover, which the album's out and my artwork's on it, which feels really cool. I've never had that before this, and it's just really cool seeing my artwork on someone else's work, being able to show that off. We went through every step of the way together, and he told me everything he wanted and didn't want, and this is the piece he got as how he wanted it. I'm really proud with how this background turned out. I think it's really cool. This piece here is done for Webster. If you know anything about Webster, you know this little guy here, the Gorlock. This was done for the Webster Journal, and the article this was for is about leaving the leaves. So they wanted a Gorlock jumping into a leaf pile. So I drew this up. I did a sketch, and they liked it, so I inked it, I colored it, I textured it. And one thing that I really wanted to try out while I was working for the journal was different art styles for the Gorlock, just as a way to keep things fresh, mix things up, because that's kind of what Webster's all about. So this is the art style that I went for. I'm really happy with how it looks. I really like this art style for the Gorlock. And the last piece that I want to take you through is this one. It's different because I made this piece just for fun, and it's on paper, and it's with a reference image I took. I was going on a trip for school, and we were at a train station. This is the train station, obviously. And so what I wanted to experiment with here was use of heavy inking in darker areas, as well as, cross-hatching and finding out where that line kind of meets, and experimenting with how many details do I put up front and how many details do I put for something that's really far away? I think this piece turned out really well, especially considering it was just an exercise I did for fun. I really like this piece. I like trains a lot, so it was a lot of fun to work on. Now we're getting to the good stuff. This is my animations page. So the first animation that I want to show you is the one that's at the top. I put it here because it, I think, perfectly encapsulates all 12 animation principles. It's very smooth and it's silly. I really like this animation and how it turned out. The animations here might look a little choppy with the screen recording. I apologize about that, but the project was to emphasize exaggeration as well as incorporate every other animation principle we've done. I think this piece perfectly shows off my ability to create animation with fundamental and technical proficiency. This was done on Toon Boom, which is the industry standard. It's what all these animations are done on. If we want to go down here, you've seen this walk cycle from the animations page. This walk cycle was in the background. That was my animation 1 final. But what I want to show you is the first project we did for animation 2, which just built straight off of that. We start off with a walk cycle, but what we learned here and what we were to incorporate is the use of the transform tool, which allowed me to create different background pieces and move them at different speeds to create an illusion of depth and a 3D environment. Because this is all 2D, but it looks as though it's in a 3D space. That was the goal of the assignment, and I think I accomplished it pretty well. I had a lot of fun experimenting with background details and that use of the transform tool. It really was a gateway to all of the different tools Toon Boom has to offer, and I'm still learning a lot about those, but they're game-changing. They make a huge difference, and it all started with my use of the transform tool here. So I think that, as well as all of these, showcase my ability to express visual concepts artistically. Integrating storytelling and performance is done down here with my finals for animation 2 and advanced animation. These are 30-second animations. This one is done in time with music, and this one is done with a script that I made with voice acting that I incorporated. They tell a story and they synthesize theory and practice, creating animation from a global perspective. I won't play those just because, audio is a very important element of it, and it might be a little loud or anything, but what I do want to show you for my 4th project is these are both projects that I did for Webster 48. That's a 48-hour film festival where teams of up to 6 create, in my case, an animation in 48 hours. This was my first one. It's just a few seconds, but I did this first background and I did all of the animation and coloring. And for my first year, I think it was pretty good. But this second one here, is my contribution to a little short film that we did that had a scary theme to it. It was supposed to be a little spooky. Sorry about that. I'm going to keep that muted so you can hear me. But we're making something a little scary, and I had a little jump scare here. And this animation as a whole won first place in animation, which I'm really proud of. I'm really proud of my contribution here. And so as far as animation goes, that is about everything I've got for you, but I do want to show you my About page. It's about what you would expect, but there's my contact information here. And this is at the bottom of every screen, but here you can see my Instagram and my YouTube. You can click those and they will take you to each page. My animations page, I just post every animation I do, just to give anyone who sees it a sense of, what I'm learning, what I'm experimenting with as I grow. This is my Instagram page where I put anything I can put up here that might not be portfolio worthy, but might still be cool and I want to show it off. Or maybe it is portfolio worthy. You might recognize this piece from my portfolio. But that's everything from my portfolio. Thank you so much for going through this with me. I had a great time showing off my work, showing off what I've learned. And my name's Ethan Meece again. Thank you so much, and I look forward to hearing from you.